Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Rich and this is Savage Supercars. So today I want to talk to you about a secret war that's going on, like a civil war in Germany that the motor industry is aware of and people are sort of behind the scenes know all about. It's a bit like the latest Avengers film. It's a civil war going on, but it's all about brake horsepower and specification. So you've got three main brands in Germany, and I know some of you are going to argue there's more, but there's three main brands real true petrol heads love. So you've got BMW, Mercedes and Audi, and between them they're fighting for the premium spot of the ultimate supercar or ultimate sports car for each price bracket, and they're all fighting for it. You know, all three of them have got really good contenders in this. So we're going to talk about the three main weight classes, if you like, and they're three contenders for the weight classes. My opinions on them, I've driven some of them, I haven't driven all of them, my opinions on some of them. And as always guys, you know, please get involved, put messages below on YouTube, messages on Instagram, direct messages, whatever. Let us know your thoughts, let us know your feelings behind it, because, you know, things are subjective. You know, I might say something, you know, looks better than something else in my opinion, but it's subjective, it's just my opinion. So, you know, it'd be interesting to see what you think. What would be really good is you know, as kind of COVID and lockdown calm down a bit more, it'd be great to have like something like Brands Hatch for the day and have all of them, all 9 of these cars together and do a proper shootout and really, you know, get some sort of final decision. I think again it will still always be a little bit subjective, there'll still be people's opinions, but I think it's you know, a real good subject to actually discuss. So the first weight class, really the entry level weight class, is going to be the M2 versus the A45 AMG S versus the Audi RS3. They're the three main top contenders, I would say, for that weight class. Again, you'll have your preferences to this, that and the other. Now, I'm not talking about the very latest M2 CS. Okay, we're not talking about the Club Sport version, because that's, you know, a massive price hike against the others. But the M2 competition, for me, you know, I think it's a really good looking car. Anybody that drives them will tell you, it goes back to the original M cars of the 80s and the 90s. What made the M cars really, really special? So the M2 comp, I think, is absolutely stunning. I know that Paul Wallace from Supercars of London is using one as his daily driver, and I totally understand why. You know, under 50k for a demonstrator, absolutely stunning. Especially he's got the black one as well, which looks amazing. But I really like the M2 comp. That goes up against really, so the A45S, which the A45 models now are just another level. They really are another level. They've upped their game massively. The A45S is a little bit more expensive. It's probably like mid to late 50s. So it's a lot of money new, but again, second hand, you can get some really good deals second hand. Dealers are doing deals if they've got the cars in stock. So I'll always say, you know, shop around, push the dealers for a little bit of discount, see what you can get. But the A45S, I think the advantage the A45S has is the interior. I think the looks are amazing externally, but the interior on the A45S, it's S-Class level. That new interior, that new dash layout, it is a very special car to be in. I've driven them, they're amazing to drive, exceptionally fast. But let's not leave out the Audi RS3. I really like the RS3. I think it looks amazing, it sounds amazing. You know, Audi probably sometimes doesn't get put in the same category as the M cars and the AMG cars, but it's up there, it's up there. So the Audi may be a little bit left field that most people would think, but the RS3, an amazing car. There was a documentary about police camera action, sort of motorway police cars, and they were saying that on the road, day to day on the road, the Audi RS3 and the Golf R are the two cars that they struggle the most of keeping up with, which is quite amazing. So the Audi RS3 is a good looking car. I like the new facelift to it. It's a stunning looking machine and very fast. Now, brake horsepower, there's not a massive difference in between it. So the M2 competition is about 404 brake, the A45S is 416 brake, and the RS3 is about 395. So they're really close as a category. So it would be a choice. You know, if you spoke to my wife, is a BMW person, she would have a BMW all the time. One of my closest friends, he's a Mercedes person. He'd want an 845 every time. And Kuldeep on the channel, you know, Kuldeep, he absolutely loves Audi, so he would have the RS3 over everything. So I think, again, it's subjective. They can all be tuned. Quite a lot of people, because the Audi RS3's been around a bit longer, quite a lot of guys have stage 1 or stage 2 tuned it up and made it sort of 450, close to 500 brake horsepower pocket rocket. But standard cars, so the AMG A45S has a little bit more of an advantage, not a lot. I don't think in day-to-day reality of driving, I don't think you'd notice the difference between the three. General driving, I think, you know, put them on a track, one would come ahead, but I think generally as a rule they'd go. You wouldn't feel it on the day-to-day driving. I think they'd all be exceptionally fast and a lot of fun. As I say, I think the Mercedes has the advantage of the interior. I think the M2, something about the M2, I think it looks like the M cars of back in the day. I think it's got a real presence to it. So for me personally, I think I would have the M2 competition as a daily driver. I think out of those three, the M2 would be my choice. My wife would be pleased to hear that, because she's a BMW enthusiast through and through. But there isn't a bad car, guys. So if you've just bought an RS3 and you're watching this video, you know, listen, you've bought a really, really good car. There isn't, in any of these categories, there isn't a bad car there. There really, really isn't. It is subjective, it is personal taste, and all of them are going to give you lots and lots of fun. So, you know, you need to remember that. But I think for me, I think I'd have the M2 comp. Now, that's probably what I would call the lightweight division. When we come up to the middleweight division, this is the big division. So we're looking at, I'm going to use the word M4 comp, but obviously you can have an M3 comp as well. I like both, but I do like the advantage of an M3 because you've got the 4 doors, and I've got 2 children, so I think an M3 comp would probably be my preferred out of the M3 and M4. But I'm going to use the word M4, but you know what I mean. So this category would be the M4 comp, the C63 AMG S, or the Audi RS5. Now, unfortunately, if anybody's watched this channel before, you all know I'm a huge C63 AMG fan, massive. The earlier cars, the sort of 2012, 2013 models, right up to the latest ones, and including the AMG 63S. Now, there will be another video because a very good friend of mine has literally, a friend of mine called Vishal, he's just ordered a new C63S coupe. He had the old C63, he's just ordered the new C63S, and he should get it within the next week, and we will be doing a launch video on that, of him collecting it. I think he's gone for the black with the red, the interior leather, stunning car. But anyway, so the 3 cars there, this has always been the M4 class, really. Most people talk about the M4, the M3 as the car of choice. The M4 in the coupe, or the M3 in the saloon. Amazing car in the comp version. Again, there's not a bad car here. The RS5, I was overtaken by an RS5 the other day, and it really impressed me. I was really impressed with the sound it made, and ironically, if you look at look into the technology behind the RS5, so the remit that the guys had at Audi, the sport division, was they actually were gunning for the C63. That was the market they wanted. They didn't want to gun for the BMW M4. They actually were targeting the C63. They wanted to get that sound right that the C63 has. The C63 has a real distinctive sound, and they wanted to get that sound right, and the savagery and the rawness to the C63 over maybe the little bit more civilized M4. And so that's where Audi were marketing. They were benchmarking the C63 as their target audience. And I was really impressed with the RS5, really impressed. The power delivery is amazing, the sound is fantastic, they've got the sound right, and the looks are really good in the RS5 coupe. I think it's definitely the right model there. So power-wise, again, not a massive difference in the cars, really. So the M4 is about 450 brake, the Audi RS5 is about the same, about 450 brake, and the C63, the Mercedes, has a little slight edge. The standard AMG is about 460, and the AMG S is 504. Some journalists or some reports will tell you it's 510. According to Mercedes, it's actually 504 real life brake horsepower. So 50 brake horsepower plus over the other two, but it's the sound. But I don't think it's the brake horsepower that gives it the advantage. I think it's just the whole package. For me, you know, I've always loved the C63. I just think it's really special. Saturday, I saw a guy, I was at a car show, and the guy had a 2013 model, and he blacked out he hadn't done loads, he blacked out the wheels, blacked out the badges, he tweaked the exhaust a little bit, and it really was an absolute beast. It was a real amazing supercar. It's certainly a car that I would love. So out of the three, I think I would probably pick the C63S. But again, my wife would have the BMW every single day. She would want the BM over the Mercedes. Cordic would want the Audi over the BM on the Mercedes. That's just how that is. So it is a personal choice. And again, guys, there isn't a bad car here. I'm not going to say to you, if you've bought the RS5, you're going to regret it, because you're not. I don't agree with that at all. I think all three of these cars have huge advantage points, and they're amazing to drive. They're going to give you that smile. You're going to want to get out of that car and then make up an excuse to just go for another drive again. All three of those cars have that driver appeal, that driver appeal. The whole reason why Savage Supercars came about was about the, you know, not just a white fridge box that you just drive A to B for work. It's about a car that ignites the passion inside of you, that you enjoy driving, and you would drive for the sake of driving. You know, there's not a purpose. Oh, I've got to drive here because of X, Y, and Z. I'm just enjoying the drive. You know, I might go to a cafe and have a bit of breakfast and meet some friends, but it's the journey, and that's what Savage Supercars is all about. And all of these cars will give you that buzz, that fizz, that adrenaline. They just will. They're drivers' cars. So in the middleweight class, the M4 Comp, the Audi RS5, or the C63 AMG S, I'll say the S, I would pick the Mercedes over the BMW or the Audi, personal choice, but I wouldn't be disappointed if I had either the other two. My wife would pick the BMW every time, and Cordic would pick the Audi every time. They're just amazing. They really, all three are amazing cars. So if you've got any one of those cars and you want to put it on the channel, please get in contact. But have a smug face, guys. Have a smug face, because if you've got any of those cars, you've got a serious car, and everybody that hasn't got one of those cars will look up to you because they are an amazing car. Now, when we talk about the heavyweight division, this gets a little bit more interesting now. So you've got the M5 Comp, you've got the Mercedes E63 AMG S, and you've got the Audi RS6. Now, the RS6 is the newest, although the Mercedes has just had a slight facelift tweak. They haven't touched the engine. They've tweaked the chassis, they've tweaked some of the body panels, the lights, but they haven't touched the engine and gearbox as such. So the RS6 is new, like literally 2020 model. The E63 has had a slight facelift. The M5 Comp is about a year old, I suppose. They're amazing cars. The advantage the Audi and the Mercedes have is they're available in wagon, in estate, where the BMW isn't available in the estate anymore. They used to do the M5 in the estate back in the day, sort of the 2007, 2008 model, which was the V10, 5-litre V10. In the estate. Wow, what a car, what an absolute beast of a car. Absolutely love it. I wish BMW would bring the estate back, I really do, because even in the middleweight class you can get the Mercedes C63 in estate, but you can't get the M4 or the M3 in estate anymore, and that's a real shame. It's a real shame. So so in the heavyweights, the M5 is, I mean, it was called the M5 class. If anybody, you talk to anybody, you know, in the journalistic motoring side of things, it's the M5 class, and the M5 has always been the benchmark, and the new M5 Comp doesn't disappoint. You know, absolutely amazing car. Really good buy second hand. We'll talk about second hand in a minute, because that is such a good value for money car. You're not going to get a second hand new shape RS6 at the moment because they're too new, but the E63S and the M5 Comp, both second hand, are bargains. You know, you're talking 100 grand cars, and you're getting close to sort of 60k now for a year-old car with not much mileage on it, and it's a lot of car for the money. I mean, brake horsepower wise, yeah, the M5 is 617 brake. That's the Comp version. The E63S is about 612, and the Audi RS6 is about 605. So again, I'll be honest with you, you're not going to notice 10 brake when you're at that level of car. When you're sort of 500-600 brake horsepower, 5 or 6 brake horsepower, 10 brake horsepower, you're not going to notice the difference in it, guys. You're really not. The drivability of the car that's what you're going to be feeling. You're going to enjoy the drivability of it, the how it makes you feel, and especially when you talk about one of the two wagons, the two estates. You know, they're perfect family cars, but then when you want to have a bit of fun, make sure the Labrador's not in the boot, and you got over 600 brake horsepower up tap. You know, and the sound, I would probably say the Mercedes has got the sound. I think the E63 sounds the best out of the three. I think the interior of the Audi is probably on par with the Mercedes. I think just the BMW's got the whole package, and it's the M5. I think it's everybody knows the M5 class, and that's what it is. It is an M5 class. So when Lexus a few years ago tried to bring the GSF, which I love, by the way, I absolutely love the Lexus GSF. It didn't really sell very well over here, sold a lot better in America, but it was in the M5 class, and that's a difficult class to enter. It's a difficult class to kind of break. But I think I would have the E63S. I think there's something about the Mercedes that I love. I know the new tweaked, because the older the E63S, it was a bit harsh to drive. The driving position of the car was quite hard. It was quite crashy. The M5 is just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable, smooth, just outstanding comfort, and the power's there when you want it. And the Audi is not going to disappoint either when it comes to comfort. So I'd say the E63S has probably got the harsher ride, a bit too hard really. But even so, I think I'd still have the E63S out of the three as a personal choice, just because there's something about the E63 that I've always loved from day one. I was there at the launch, and it's just something about the launch of it which just majorly appealed to me about the E63. But I would have either of the other two in an instant. You're not going to get a banging deal on the RS6 at the moment just because it's too new. The older model is just amazing value for money. And when the new one is about a year, 18 months old, there'll be some deals to be had. But the RS6, there's a lot of hype about that. Be a bit careful speccing it though. The standard cars are around about 100 grand. And I know a couple of guys that have gone a bit crazy on the spec, and all of a sudden their RS6 is sort of nudging 140 grand. It's a lot of money for an RS6, but you know, I know you need to be a bit careful on the spec when you're specifying it. But I think for me the E63S would be the one, but I wouldn't be disappointing either of the other. The M5, my wife would have the M5, and Courtney would have the RS6. So I think you know, there's a pattern there. It is subjective. Out of the three, I think, out of the 9 in total, so the three classes, I think I'd have an M2 comp as a day-to-day driver. I'd have to have the C63 AMGS because I just absolutely love it, and I'd have to have the E63S probably in a state form because I think it would, you know, with my family and my dogs, I've got two very big dogs. Would I want to put them in it? Probably not, but if I needed to, we'd tick all the boxes, and I think they would be my three choices. But there isn't a bad car. There is not a bad car. All 9 of these cars, sorry, 3 cars in each class. There isn't a bad car there. If you've got an M4, I look at M4s and just dream about owning an M4. You know, the RS5 the other day that overtook me was amazing. The RS6, the new estate, is just an unbelievable car. Looks, build, sound quality, the interior. I think it's amazing. I think Mercedes have got the interior at the moment with that new, derived from the S-Class limo quality interior at the moment. That massive dash information situation, I think, is just amazing. But yeah, I don't know where it's going to end. The German battle for brake horsepower power is just going on and on and on. I think it's just unbelievable. I really do think it's unbelievable at the moment. So there isn't a bad car there, guys. You know, if you get an A45, one of the older ones, I love the A45. I love the M2, the RS3, the S3. There isn't a bad car, but it's really mad that there's, you know, this one country that's having this brake horsepower civil war, I'm calling it. You know, I'm tongue-in-cheek, guys, but it is kind of, they want the power war. You know, who's got it the most? I don't know. They're all very, very close. I don't think you'd notice the difference in any of them at the moment with regards to if one's got 10 brake horsepower more than the other. I don't think you'd notice it because the way they deliver the power, the way that the fun factor of the car would be there no matter what. So whether you go for in the lightweights, the M2, the RS3 or the A45S, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. The M3, M4, C63 or the Audi RS5 or the M5, RS6 or E63S. There's not a bad car, guys. There's not a bad car. I would have any one of the 9 as a daily driver on the channel and be over the moon with what you could do with it and how much fun we can have with it. They're all dream cars, all 9 of them. So if you've got any of them, well done. I'm pleased for you and a little bit envious at the moment. If you want any of them on the channel, guys, get in touch. Direct messages through Instagram or on Facebook or on YouTube, you know. But yeah, there's not a bad car there, guys. So listen, thanks for supporting the channel. We do appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the content. We're trying to mix it up and get it as interesting as we can. We've got quite a few car driving channel videos coming up. I've got the Jag one next. I'm looking forward to comparing 2 different XJs. So lots of content to come, lots of fun. Kulim's going to be in the video very, very soon. We're going to get together. We're going to talk about where we're taking the channel next. We've just invested a lot of money in some new camera material works and a new computer as well to get the channels moving forward. We're going to get more of a professional intro and extro to the channel. So guys, just keep watching, keep supporting, keep pushing the subscribe button. That's what we need. We need the subscribers up there, guys. You know, tell your friends, tell your family. Let's get Savage Supercars up there. You know, I watch guys like DDE, Supercars of London, TG, Archie Hamilton Racing, Vehicle Virgin. They all do amazing content, guys. I'm a huge fan of all of theirs, and we just want to be up there with them. You know, we're not trying to take anybody's crown. We just want to be up there with them. We got the content, we got the passion, we got the enthusiasm. You know, I could work in the car industry, talk about the car industry all day long. I absolutely love it. Every time we go out for dinner, my wife dreads somebody mentioning cars because I just go off on a tangent. I get a lot of people contact me about picking their next car and they want input and advice on what to have, you know. So that's what the channel's all about, guys. Yeah, we love the 300 grand, 400 grand cars. You know, the McLaren 765 LT still is one of those cars that I desperately want to get on the channel. And you know, hopefully I will do it in future once the channel gets there. But you know, it's early days, guys. We started the channel 2 weeks before COVID lockdown, so timing wasn't great, but we're out there. You know, we've got over 20 videos out there now. We've got more. We've got people contacting us daily about car videos. So you know, we're doing it as best we can, guys. We just need your support. Not financial, just subscribe, push the notification button, talk about us to your friends. Let's get the Savage Supercars up there, guys. We really, really do appreciate it. We're getting some real positive feedback and we love it. So guys, stay safe. We do appreciate your support, and there'll be more videos coming. We want to get it up to sort of 2 to 3 every single week. That's where we want to be. You know, we're still running, we still work, we still got full-time jobs at the moment, which is making it a bit more difficult, but we're getting there, guys. So listen, stay safe. Thanks for everything. Hope you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you soon. So take care, guys.